today I have a new beautiful host. Her name is Victoria. Victoria, thank you for accepting to be here and to help me ask me a couple of questions, and we'll tell people what the subject is today. But first of all, thank you. And how are you?
I'm really good. Thank you for inviting me. I'm really happy to be here. I feel that I'm going to learn a lot.
You are going to learn a lot, because today we have a very interesting subject, and is how to beat the competition, those secrets to winning your dream home. We're going to talk about those things that are really important when you're purchasing a house, when you're purchasing a property, and there's multiple offer situation.
Yes, I can imagine. And actually, this is the first question. What does it really mean to be in a competitive market? And how does this impact buyers?
Yeah, okay, so let's make that definition. So if you are in a competitive market, it means that there are several qualified buyers that are looking to acquire the same type of properties. And it means that they're ready to move faster with simpler conditions, and that ultimately become a competition to you as a buyer.
As a buyer, I understand.
Exactly. Okay. So that would be, it's not simply, I want to buy a property and when there's a lot of buyers, qualified buyers out there,
I understand.
and they're competing for the same properties, that's what we call a competitive market.
Interesting. And what are the most common mistakes buyers make in multiple offer situations?
First, and the biggest mistake that I am tired of repeating, but it still happens, and it's not getting pre-approved, not getting a mortgage pre-approval. That's the first and the worst mistake. I personally, like I've repeated it several times, I do not start shopping with clients unless they have their pre-approval, but some other brokers do, and some buyers that have no brokers do it. So that is the first mistake. Number two is acting too slow. You know, these buyers that, I'm looking for a house, and then, okay, we see a house, beautiful, we look at the documents, when can you visit? In 2 weeks. The house is probably not going to be there.
Competitive market.
So if you are serious about buying, you should find the time to do the visit. You have to be flexible. The other thing is underestimating the importance of conditions. In many multiple offers, it's not only the price that makes an offer the winning offer.
Okay.
It's also the conditions that you put in the offer. And we can elaborate on that a little bit further, but conditions and flexibility if you're in a multiple offer situation. And the other thing is getting way too emotional. I know it's very difficult for buyers not to get emotional when they're purchasing a property, but you do need to keep some sort of objectivity. Okay. And for that, you have your real estate broker. Listen to your real estate broker, because sometimes people also on multiple offer situations make very, very big mistakes because they get too emotional. For example, in order to win the bid, they're gonna waive the inspection condition. That is something that I do not recommend any buyers. I always tell the buyers, unless you're a very experienced buyer, you should never waive the inspection condition, not even if it's a condo. And just this week, I had 2 clients asking me about that. Is it really worth it to do an inspection on a condo? It's only half an hour. I'm like, yes, but those are the best $400 that you can spend, because there's small things that you might not see that are going to come up on an inspection.
So it's really interesting, because you don't know what you're buying. I guess you need to verify.
Exactly. And like I've always tell my clients, the inspection is a way of knowing the property, knowing
the worth.
Simple things like where to shut off the water. Simple things such as if you have a water leak, where do you shut off the water? Where's your electrical panel? Where do you open the breakers? Are the windows opening properly? Are they not? Is the piping that has been recalled, for example, because of risks of pipes bursting? Sometimes you might look at the piping and everything looks perfect, and then you go to the inspection and you find out that it's a brand that it's being recalled and you're going to have to change it. Or even the electrical panels. A lot of clients do not know what are the brands that are no longer in use, and then you buy the condo, you want to get insured, and the insurance says, nope, I can't insure you until you change it, but everything looks normal.
Wow.
So that is the other thing. Do not avoiding getting emotional during a multiple offer situation.
That's really good. And actually, beyond price, what makes an offer truly stand out to a seller?
So that's where I wanted to talk about conditions.
Okay.
So if you're in a multiple offer situation and you put 20 conditions to the offer, what the seller is reading is, this is going to get complicated.
Oh my God.
Okay? So you have to be, I'm not saying you have to not put conditions,
okay,
but you have to put reasonable conditions. For example, if it's a condo, you're going to revise the co-ownership documents, you're going to do an inspection, and you're going to get your mortgage. That would be the 3 conditions.
Okay.
But putting conditions, for example, like you want to meet the other co-owners. No, not happening before you become an owner. Or, I don't know, in a house, deciding that you don't want a simple inspection, but you want an inspection where they're gonna let you open a wall. No, that's an expertise, and that comes after if the inspection reveals something. The other thing, flexibility on the dates. If the seller is asking for specific dates to go to the notary and to move out, and you're in a multiple offer situation, respect those dates. Because it's probably because that seller needs that money to go buy another property. So if you offer them different dates, even if your offer is, let's say, $5,000 higher, they might choose the one that's $5,000 lower because it accommodates with what they need. So that's why I always tell the clients, it's not only about price, it's also about conditions, and it's also about presentation. If you're working with a real estate broker and you're in a multiple offer situation, your broker has to fight for the fact to be able to present the offer to the sellers. If it is not possible to present it, you need to write a letter to those sellers, explaining who you are, why did you love the property, why did you want to buy in that area? Because a letter is not gonna make you win an offer if your offer is $10,000 lower. But if it's the same price as another one and you humanize a little bit the process, that's, especially for example, when older people are selling their homes, that's very important. If your broker is not able to present the offer directly to the sellers, because you as a client, you won't be able to do it, but your broker might, make sure that at least your broker is able to have a conversation with the seller's broker to explain the offer and to reassure that you're serious, that you know what you're buying, that your conditions are. Yeah. So it's very important that presentation of the offer. I've won many multiple offer situations.
Yeah, it can make the difference.
I've won them many, many times because of the presentation. And the other brokers have told me, you reassured us that your client was serious. You reassured us that your client had read the seller's declaration property. You reassured, and it does make a big difference.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can see it. I can totally see it. I think, how much does financial preparation influence the success of an offer?
It's absolutely crucial.
Okay.
Without a pre-approval,
that's what you were saying.
If you go into a multiple offer situation and you do not have a pre-approval to back your offer or a proof of funds, for sure, even if you offer $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 more, it's not going to happen. And me, when I represent my sellers, if I make it a condition in any offer that I need to receive the pre-approval, I wouldn't let any of my sellers accept an offer if the buyer is not pre-approved. So it is very important. It's important to show that you're not going to 100% of your borrowing capacity.
Okay.
Because that is, I mean, even if the bank says I'll lend you $1 million and you put an offer at $1 million pill. So I always try to tell my clients to look under their budget a little bit, so that if there are multiple offers and they need to bonify their offer, there is some room to do it. Yes.
Smart. Let's come back a little bit to that letter and how important it's a buyer's personal letter, and when do you actually recommend to include one?
So
you kind of said it, but
yeah. So if we're talking about commercial properties or multifamily properties, that doesn't apply. Those people, those buyers and those sellers, they only see numbers. So there, it's not important.
Yeah, I can see. Okay.
When sellers are, for example, older people,
like
very, very important. And I've seen sellers accept offers with an importance price difference because of the profile and the letter that was sent by the buyers. So it's very important to be concise, explain why you like the neighborhood, why you like the property, who are you, and what are your projects in that house, but not more than one letter. And I always tell my clients to try to include a picture, because the process is very cold in the sense that buyer and seller never meet until the notary. But if it's a multiple offer situation and the seller is an older person or somebody that's selling their parents' home where they grew up, or where their kids were born and all of that, a lot of people want those properties to go to someone that has a similar profile. So like I was saying before, it's like humanizing the process. So it's very important. Not in every case. There's sometimes that I see that the seller is a businessman. He doesn't want to receive a letter, corny and that. They're like, no. So in those cases, I would insist on a personal presentation of the offer to the other broker, emphasizing numbers, documents, delays, things like that. But if there's an emotional component, yes, I will insist on my buyers writing a letter.
That's really, really nice. I love the how you bring the human part into it.
Yeah,
maybe because she's a beautiful lady.
Thank you.
We can feel it. Okay, let's continue here. What strategies do you personally use to help your clients within in a competitive situation?
So, like I was saying, I prepare my clients really well. I always support all of my offers with a pre-approval. And I always make a comparative evaluation that I use and that I sell, that I send the other broker, showing and justifying where does the price that we're offering comes from. And again, we do the letter. So we're doing emotional things, which are, for example, the letter, but we're doing analytical things. That is, here you go. I'm showing you the comparables that support what my client is offering. And again, I try to make the conditions as simple as possible without waiving critical conditions such as inspection. Unless my buyer, because yes, I've had many offers with no inspection condition in the cases of very, very educated buyers that came with their contractors to the visit and already knew what to expect. But if it's a first-time home buyer, I wouldn't save on that expense, and I would not recommend a buyer of mine in a multiple offers situation, even if it's their dream home, to waive the condition of inspection just to win the property. If the house is not for you, it's not for you. But I don't want you to buy a dream and once you move in, discover a whole bunch of things, and then
a nightmare
because you saved on $1,000 or because you absolutely wanted to win that house, your dream home becomes a nightmare.
Totally.
So that is a condition that, again, like I say, unless you're very experimented buyer, that I wouldn't waive.
That's really good, really interesting. And how crucial is speed when it comes to decision making?
Oh my
in
God,
this kind of
it's
market?
key.
That's
Key.
I can feel it.
Clients, please, when we're in a multiple offer situation or when we're negotiating an offer, sellers and buyers, please be available. You know in advance when things are going to happen because we have prepared an offer or we have given a delay for offers to come in. Please, yes, we all work. Yes, we have obligations, duties, whatever. But that day of the negotiation, please be available because many times we have to bona fide, change conditions. And here in Quebec, everything is done in writing. I can't call and say, yes, she's willing to, or he's willing to increase his price by 5,000. No, you have to sign a document. You have to sign it. Well, now with electronic signature, it's pretty simple. But if you're not available and there's a deadline to respond, you lost. You lost and you lost. So it's very important to be available, to be able to respond quickly, either with your phone, with your computer. You ask for permission at work for a half an hour. A negotiation doesn't last. When it's time to respond to offers, a negotiation is not going to last for hours and hours. Even us, real estate brokers, many times we also have lives and we're doing things and we have to step up of reunions, step out of the gym. Sometimes it happened to me 2 weeks ago. I was training and it was a multiple offer situation and I got a call. What do I do? Oh no, it's my gym time. No, you go out and you respond. Same thing. If you're the one that is buying, you really need to be available. The speed and the availability is key.
Yeah, I can see that especially if it's your dream house, you have to be available. You have to be there. You have to respond, you know?
Oh no, the baby was crying. Well, the baby can cry for 10 minutes.
Bring the baby.
Bring the baby.
Can you share a recent example where your strategy helped a client secure their dream property?
Oh my God, there's a million strategies and there are a million examples. I had one just 2 weeks ago with a client and her offer wasn't the highest. The other broker couldn't tell me on the phone that it wasn't the highest because they can only tell me how many offers there were. But when I spoke to him, I reassured him that my client had she was very strong financially. She was able to accommodate any dates. And that the inspection, I had explained her what the inspection was, that it was not a tool to negotiate price, but a tool to know the property, to get to know it. And even though I wasn't the highest offer, they gave us the opportunity by giving us a counter proposal at the price of the highest offer.
Okay.
Not that I know exactly the numbers because I couldn't know it, but if they're countering me at a certain price, it's because probably it was the other offer was at that price, and we secured the condo. I've had other times in which I had another family, and it was an older lady, and the fact that I explained everything on my clients, and I commented on things of her house that my clients had appreciated.
Oh, cute.
Helped us secure. And in other cases, in more financial ones in which numbers was the case, my client listened to me, and instead of going through conventional financing, he took a private loan.
Oh, smart.
So we were able to give a condition of only 5 days for financing. There were 10 other offers. So we went through over and the other 9 offers, and he secured a 5-unit building, and then he was able to optimize his refinance and made a lot of money. So
I can see how you can manage both, like the personal, the emotional part, and the strategy and financial part.
yeah, exactly.
So
That's why I say that going on your own to this process is very risky.
Yeah, I understand. Interesting. What are the main advantage of working with an experienced real estate broker in a competitive market like this?
Well, you're gonna get all of this advice that on your own you wouldn't know.
Totally.
And this is not that I'm saying that anything against other brokers, but more newer brokers have not gone through all of these experiences.
Exactly.
Because we learn, look, when we come out of real estate school, we really don't how the market works. It's completely different from what you learn from the books. So it's the fact of doing transactions and getting to know. And it's very important to know how to read the other person.
I can see. I can see.
It's key.
I can see.
It's not only numbers, it's not only paperwork, it's reading the seller's motivations, it's reading the personality of the seller's or the buyer's broker, how to speak to them. I know that this sounds funny, but it is a lot about knowing people and how to talk to people. And that you only gain with experience. You only gain it with experience. And for sure, for the newer brokers, if they're not in a multiple offer situation, it's easier to learn. But normally, and the other thing that's very important, if you have someone that's not too experienced, they might tell you to overbid to a price that it's not worth it either. Me too. In many situations, I've told my clients, look, this condo is not worth what you want to pay. If you do it, it's up to you, but I wouldn't go that high. And that happened to me tons and tons of times during COVID, where everyone was overbidding for houses.
Oh my God.
Including my sister was buying a house. And many times I stopped my clients and said, you can adore this house, but you're going to regret it when you're going to resell it if you pay this much more. I wouldn't go higher than this. If the house is for you, it's for you. If not, wait. There's clients that said, I don't care, I'm going to pay. Okay, at the end, the client is the one that has the final word. But that's another thing. I've seen, and I'm seeing it now.
Okay.
A lot of clients that bought during COVID, not with me, that now need to sell. Some of them are losing money. Some of them are hardly breaking even. Some of them are making a tiny little bit of money. But it's heartbreaking to see clients lose money. Lose money because they were not properly, how do you say that?
Advice. Yeah.
Advice. Yeah. And it's sad. And I've had at least 3 cases this year of people. One, they're probably going to lose money. The other one hardly break even. The other one could have made way more money if they wouldn't have overpaid for that. And I think that was a lack of experience from the realtor.
Okay.
Because you do have influence over your clients, and you can tell them, stop, don't buy.
Wow.
It's not a matter of making the commission.
But I think it's a human process, and if I want to work with you, it's because I trust you, and I trust your experience, and I trust what you have seen.
Yeah.
So of course it's the idea is to be guided, and I'm there to hear your advices.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So
and like I say, the responsibility that we have as brokers is huge. It's very big. And we can't take it for granted. And it's not about making a commission. It's about helping somebody take one of the biggest decisions and one of the biggest investments of their life.
Totally true.
Yeah.
Totally true. There's a last question here. What advice will you give to someone who wants to buy a home but feels intimidated by today's competition?
Don't be afraid. There's always opportunities. Don't be afraid. This one thing at a time. Get a broker to help you, a broker that you can trust. And when you're selecting your broker, don't hesitate to call a few, ask them for references. Like me too, I tell my clients, go look at my Google reviews, and if you want, pick out one client, 2 or 3. I'll give you their phone numbers, and if you want to call them.
Love this.
Interview them. We don't have a good feeling with all of the brokers, so that's number 1. Number 2, get prepared. Know what you can buy. If they tell you that you can afford that house, why are you going to be afraid? You're not putting your money in the stock market that goes up and down one day. It's an asset. It's a fixed asset that you can see. And start the process. Like, have your mortgage broker, have your real estate broker, ask your real estate broker for references for notaries, for inspectors. There's a lot of protection for a buyer here in Quebec, so you shouldn't really be afraid. Read the documents, ask questions, and don't rush. It's a process. You might need to make a decision quickly. Sometimes people after 3 visits find the perfect house. Doesn't mean you need to do 100 visits. But what you need to do is read the documents, read the seller's declaration, read what you're buying, ask for the documents that you need, and let the professionals guide you.
Fair enough. Thank you, Kata. I'm ready to buy my dream home.
Thank you, everyone.